Morning Northwest Morning Sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is 6:53. Time to get you ready for your Thursday here in the Morning Sprint.
Mark Peterson has another sunny day in the forecast. Destiny Richards is live at Dry Fly with changes ahead for phase 2 of reopening.
And Olivia Roberts is following what students at Gonzaga University can expect this fall. But first, family and friends of George Floyd will hold a memorial today in Minneapolis. Floyd died in police custody last week, his death sparking protests across the country and around the world. His family demanding justice and answers. Charges have been upgraded against fired police officer Derek Chauvin from 3rd to 2nd degree murder. 3 other former officers are now charged in Floyd's death and will appear in court for the first time today. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said the prosecution would be difficult, but it is important. Floyd's family and friends will celebrate his life at the first of 3 memorials. ABC News will air a special report for today's memorial service that is coming up at 11 o'clock.
3 New York City police officers are in the hospital this morning. 1 was stabbed, 2 others shot while breaking up a fight in Brooklyn last night. Investigators say the violence happened in an area of Brooklyn where no protests were taking place. Police say 1 person has been arrested in connection to that shooting.
Drew Brees is facing criticism from across the sports world for comments he made about NFL protests. Yesterday, the New Orleans Saints star quarterback was asked about players taking a knee to protest police brutality during NFL games. Brees, who comes from a military family, said he will, quote, never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag. Brees has posted an apology on Instagram this morning, saying, "It breaks my heart to know the pain I have caused."
As we look at our satellite and radar, it was a fairly busy morning in some areas north of Spokane with some light rain showers continuing to move out of the region, and the clouds are going to follow suit and get out of here. So we will see better weather, sunny conditions today, 72 for the high, 78 into Moses Lake, Yakima, Wenatchee. Look for 76 into Omak. Pullman, you're going to be at 69 with sunshine.
Some breaking news this morning. New unemployment numbers show another 1.9 million workers filed for initial unemployment last week. The U.S. Department of Labor says that means more than a quarter of the labor force, 42.6 million people, have now claimed benefits since the pandemic began. This makes 11 weeks that jobless claims have been in the millions.
In Spokane County, the health district is reporting 15 more people have tested positive for COVID-19. That brings the total of cases since the outbreak began up to 629, with 34 people who have died. There have been 2 deaths in the last 2 days. Right now, there are 7 people in the hospital with serious symptoms. Across the border in North Idaho, the number of cases remain the same, with 97 confirmed. 10 people have been hospitalized since the pandemic began. There are no longer any hospitalizations. There have been no deaths since the outbreak began in North Idaho.
Coronavirus pandemic has made plans for the upcoming school year unpredictable, but Gonzaga University says it's been prepping for the fall semester for months now. When students do return to campus, the move-in process will go in phases. Over the course of 3 days, students will move into their dorms starting at the end of August. Safety protocols are still in the works right now. The university says several facilities on the campus will be used as extra housing in case students get sick and need to isolate. Class sizes will also be smaller, and students will have the option to learn online. To avoid spreading the virus, all classes after Thanksgiving break will be taught online. All students who travel outside of Spokane County for the break will be asked to stay off campus for the rest of the semester. You can read more about these plans on KXLY.com.
Dry Fly Distillery opens today at noon under Phase 2 guidelines, and there are a lot of guidelines you'll need to know. For one of them is the bar. You cannot sit at the bar, but you can sit at different tables, and they're doing a lot of social distancing, and there's plenty of Spokanitizer, even some for yourself. All you have to do is email them, and you can get some in bulk for $40. All these details can also be found on KXLY.com.
This morning on the race for Kootenai County Sheriff, Bob Norris will advance to November's general election as the GOP candidate. Norris took just more than 44% of the vote, defeating Kim Edmondson, John Grimm, and Richard Whitehead. Norris has been in law enforcement for 30 years and is currently a member of the Kootenai County Search and Rescue Team.
Coming up next on Good Morning America, the comeback for basketball. The NBA is set to approve a plan this afternoon to return to the court this summer.
We will be so thrilled just to see live sports again, and particularly something leading to a playoff, a resolution, a champion. Will it be a little excessive? People are so starved for it. They haven't seen it since, early March.
The league says they plan to have daily testing and to quarantine players who test positive. We'll be right back after this.